looks like.
Yep, this is my bed. And here's my dog, if you can see her. Can you see my dog?
Hey, is that where he or she sleeps? Oh, I lost her. I think I lost her. I'll click her off. What are you eating there, Bill?
Peanuts.
Ah, that's a dinner of champions.
Protein, protein.
Well, feel free to ask questions whenever you want, because we are getting ready to go. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Are you ready? Good. We are recording. Good evening, everybody. It is July 9th, and we are going to have our study club meeting on defining who. But first, I want to go through today's agenda. I got a special guest for you again today. It's going to be a 60-minute call. We're going to start with David versus Goliath on the internet. So I'm going to bring on one of my partners, Ridgely Goldsboro, to talk to you. We're going to then review the last meeting. We're going to go through our vision board update. Some of you sent me your pictures of your vision boards, so I'll show you those. Then we'll go through demographics, hot buttons, matching wants with solutions, and then questions if you have them. However, Bill, feel free to ask questions whenever it's appropriate. So first thing we're going to do is start with David versus Goliath on the internet. So I have been here in Pensacola for the last 4 days with my partners, Ridgely Goldsboro, Hubert Lee, Mike Sparkman. We've been discussing what's happening on the internet with a lot of the major changes going on with Panda and Penguin. We've been looking at this for the last 75 days and looking at the trends, what's been happening, and what are we going to do about these changes. So I wanted to bring Ridgely on to talk to you about what we see happening and what you all need to do to stay ahead of the game. So like I said, I'm at Ridgely's house, so instead of him being on his computer and sharing the bandwidth, I'm just going to step up and I'm going to have Ridgely sit down here and talk to you for a little while. So here's Ridgely. Oh.
Evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you and share some of the stuff that's going on out there on the internet that is, frankly, quite interesting. And as with all things, I would view this as a crisis that also provides an opportunity. And what I mean by that is, first of all, we had the Google algorithm change that happened last year at the end of February called Panda, which basically took the internet search engine, the way people were actually found on the internet, so search engine optimization, and turned it upside down. Well, as if that wasn't bad enough, Google came back with Penguin just a couple of months ago at the end of April or the early part of May, and they continued to add new things on basically a weekly basis and made it unbelievably more complex and more challenging, basically to the point where myself and some of the other internet gurus that are out there that spend a lot of time on this and really think about these things and go everywhere to every convention believe that going forward it is going to be an entirely different game in terms of how you are found on the internet, because Google does not have a responsibility to you. Google has a responsibility to their shareholders. And they have figured out that if they make it incredibly difficult to figure out how you can get yourself seen on the internet through their search engines, it is going to drive their advertising revenue in a really, really big way, which has been exactly what has happened in the last couple of months. The Google ad revenue is through the roof. It's great if you happen to own shares of Google, but if you don't own any shares of Google, it is very, very challenging for the rest of us who are trying to figure out, wait a second, if we're taking all this time to come up with a message that resonates with the marketplace in terms of our why we exist and why the market should care, we also have to pay attention to how is the market going to find us And if it's going to become that much more difficult through search engine optimization, then we need to supplement that with other tactics and techniques, and we need to react very, very quickly, or we're going to be left behind. And as I'm sure you probably know from listening to Gary, our why at our company is to find a better way. And so we've spent the last couple of months literally just racking our brain going, what can we do to, in essence, beat the system? Or not beat the system, but at least to provide the kind of value that the system is going to recognize, the system being how they find you on the internet, not even Google anymore, so that we can bring that value to all of our clients and help people learn how to, in essence, get themselves visible, and then obviously put their why message out there so that people can find you who believe what you believe, resonate with what you say and what you do, and help you create an ideal, loyal business. So I'm about to show you, all the people on the 4D Study Club, you are the very first people in the universe to see what we believe is an incredible secret sauce special plan. No one else has seen this, and my purpose behind this, at Gary's request, is to educate everybody as to where we believe the internet is going. Certainly it's going to continue to be an incredible tool to expose your business and your practice to the world, especially based on your why. And on top of that, we want to show you what we believe you should be doing. Now, obviously, if you want us to help you with that, we can do that. However, that's not the point behind my showing this to you. The point is more to show you that this is what you need to do, and you can probably do a lot of it yourself. However, if you don't do something based on what has happened in Panda and Penguin over the last year and a half, there is a very good chance that in the eyes of the internet, you will, quote, disappear. In other words, you will not be found. And that obviously has catastrophic implications for anybody that is using the internet as the tool that it can be to drive a practice and build a business. So now I'll put on my funky glasses here, and we are going to take a look at what we believe is the future and where you should be going. If we can help you, great. And otherwise, I would strongly encourage you to do it anyway. So we're going to start out now. That's why, of course, I got to get Gary to show me how this thing works. There we go. In the middle of your messaging, whoa. How do I stop this thing? Whoop. Stop. Hold on. I see. It was going on automatic. That's why. So I go start. I got it.
I don't know. Maybe not. We'll find
okay.
out.
Well, I think I can go like this and then pause. Nope. Stop pausing. How do I do this? All right. Here's what I'm going to do. It says slide delay 5 seconds. There must be some way you can control the slide delay. There we go. I'm just going to make it like, all right. I'm going to describe exactly what we believe should happen, and you can see for yourself how it kind of unfolds. First of all, obviously, as is the premise of this entire study club, we believe that it is so much more important to start with why and express why you exist and why the world should care than it is to express what you do and what you have, because that's what everybody does, and then you compete on nothing but commodities and price. So the whole concept is in the middle of your messaging is the why. However, after that, what do? You have your why. Obviously, if Google's declaring war on search engines and it's going to become super difficult for anyone to know with any degree of certainty that they can be found on the internet, then we have to take alternative steps and create a way to create the visibility, still based on the why, to get your message of who you are in the marketplace so that you can attract the people that you want to attract out there. So what's that look like? Well, to us, it looks like this. All right, now it's on a 21. See, this thing is like messing with me. All right, let's see if I do this. There we go. First, we're going to start with why. And now I just can't pause this thing. Okay, wait a second. What if I go like this? Nope. As you guys can see, what's happening here is that it is populating. And I'm going to explain what this looks like. All of these are channels to the marketplace. So imagine for a minute that you had the why in the middle of all of these channels, and these channels start to interconnect among each other. And then all of a sudden people start showing up through these channels to the point where you populate an entire network. And that's what it looks like. So in the middle, you have your why. And around your why, you have Facebook and LinkedIn and a radio ad and YouTube and the television and a newspaper and Google Plus and Twitter. And all of these pieces, all of these channels begin to talk to each other. So that when you put in a single piece of content, what ends up happening is that that piece of content, whatever it may be, goes out throughout the entire network at one time. And imagine that you're building these one piece at a time. So you put up Facebook, and in that Facebook profile, your messaging is based on your why. And then the next month, you put up LinkedIn, and in that profile, the messaging is based on your why. And then you link LinkedIn to Facebook through a series of widgets, always linked back to your website so people can find you. And then you put out a radio ad, and your radio ad is based on your why, and we put the radio ad on LinkedIn, and we put it on Facebook. So suddenly Facebook, LinkedIn, the radio ad are all connecting back down into your website. And of course, we're going to put out a video, which is going to be on YouTube, which is then going to be posted with a link over to Facebook, which is going to go into Google Plus, which we're then going to take the transcript of and put that into a document sharing system such as SlideShare, and we're going to put it into a podcast as an MP3, so that suddenly all over the place, your messaging is showing up like an agency. Except the difference is that unlike everybody else out there, your message is based on your why you exist, and why the world should care. Nobody else is doing this except the biggest companies on the planet. So here's how an agency works for Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Nike or Red Bull or Reebok. They go out and they spend millions of dollars to build something where if you put Reebok in the middle right here, or let's say it's Nike Just Do It, or Red Bull with the X Games, or whoever it may be, right in the middle is the brand. Let's say it's Pepsi. And so where it says Y right now is Pepsi. And so Pepsi then goes out and gets Google and Facebook and LinkedIn, and they build profiles on all of those things, and it costs them millions of dollars. But wait a second. People don't really relate to Pepsi, so they actually have to create, quote, the next generation, and spend millions of dollars creating Pepsi and the next generation. And so basically, in essence, if it's Red Bull, they do the same thing, and they sponsor the X Games, and they spend millions of dollars to try to attract a face and a likeness to the network. Because people relate to a human being. That's why we have the power of your why and why it's so important, not to a brand necessarily. Very rarely do people relate to a brand. An exception might be Harley Davidson. Other than Harley, pretty much everybody else, they have to attach a face or a human to the brand. So that costs millions of dollars. So at the end of the day, this is simply not an option that is available to the rest of the world until right now, where we figured out that over the course of a year, we can come up with a strategic plan based on a why and execute one channel every month to begin to populate and cross-populate a network that helps you develop a presence on the internet that is all centered around your why. Let me give a for instance of how this could potentially work. I know some people may live near the water. So let's just suppose that you are into boating. Let's just say that you're into sailing and that you belong to a club that, sponsors regattas, which is common. This is an example I'm using. It was my dad. My dad was very involved in the sailing club of the Chesapeake. So as he fills out his profiles in Facebook and other parts of social media, there's going to be a place where they're going to ask, what are your interests? And at that point, you can talk about boating. So you put in your interests, sailing, boating, et cetera, et cetera. And Facebook is going to automatically go out into their massive database and find the affinity groups that have people that are into boating and ask you, would you like to belong? Would you like to participate? So that suddenly you are connected to people who share a common interest. So let's just suppose that you decided, because you wanted to, because you've been doing it every year, because you love doing it, to participate on the committee for the Summer Sailing Club Regatta. And that means you're out on the committee boat. So someone in your organization could post a message and seed that throughout your entire wide network saying, hey, I'm participating in the regatta again this year. I'm super excited about this. It's going to be great. It always is such a wonderful experience, blah, blah, blah. And now you actually go out on the committee boat like you've done every year, except that this time you have this network in place that is built to connect you with people who are like-minded. And you post right after the Optimist or the Pee Wee League race, hey, the Optimist Club just came in. The Pee Wees did a great job. It was really amazing to watch all of their happy faces as they crossed the finish line, etc. And that goes out to the network. And it goes out to all the people who have an interest in Pee Wees and other boats throughout the network. People who you have absolutely no way of connecting with. You don't even know who their parents are of these Pee Wees until this message hits the network. And then a parent of a Pee Wee says, wow, that was a really great message from Dr. So-and-so. I really like that he told me that the Optimist Club just came across the finish line with smiling faces. Let me go check him out or her out. And they go and they click on your profile and they land on your profile, except that unlike all the other profiles out there, your profile is based on your why. So those people who believe what you believe are instantly going to relate to you, instantly going to get who you are, resonate with you, and say, wow, that is so cool. I found a dentist that I can relate to completely, not knowing necessarily that they simply believe what you believe because you expressed it clearly through your why. All of a sudden, the phone rings at your office. Hey, I just saw Dr. So-and-so. He was doing the Optimist Club race last weekend, and I wanted to make an appointment. And the appointment now is based on the fact that they saw your why. So what are you going to need to say? What are you going to need to say to them when they call the office? All you're going to have to say is, how can I help? How can I help? And now imagine that you spent a little bit of time educating yourself on how to populate the network that you see in front of you with all these connections going all over the place through all of these channels, some of them being social media, some of them being traditional advertising, some of them being even forums that you can belong to through LinkedIn and other things, and it instantly went all over the place, giving you access and creating affinity with a world of people that you would never, ever have any connection with if it weren't for your wide network. And imagine now, for example, one of the quick features about this, and then I will turn this back over to Gary, because I really think this is the future. This is a couple more key things I want to share with you. Number one, the channels may change. It may go from Facebook to LinkedIn to something else, to something else, to something else. But your why never changes. So to the extent that you expand the reach of your why, the reach of you, who you are, what you stand for, and what you believe, it's a never-ending source of additional people that get exposed to that. And oh, by the way, this is what big-time agencies have figured out. YouTube spend tons of money trying to figure out how to connect with more people. Google, Facebook, LinkedIn spend lots and lots of money building architecture and tools trying to figure out how to connect to other people. If you were in all of these channels, you would have Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google, all of these entities working on your behalf to connect you to more people at no charge whatsoever to you. Let me repeat that. All of these multi-billion-dollar entities that have very, very smart people on their teams whose job it is to connect you to more people, to expand the scope of their reach, are working for you for free. And if you put your why message in the middle of all of that network, imagine what happens when all those people see you expressing yourself, why you exist, why the world should care. We believe this is absolutely a better way and completely revolutionary. And I will share with you, it's been 75 days of intensive effort behind the scenes to build a way to help our clients to combat what is happening with search engine optimization that is becoming so incredibly difficult, to make sure that you do expose yourself to as many people as possible so that people can find you, because there are many people out there who do believe what you believe, and they're looking for you right now. If there's anything that we can do to help you do this, through our program that we're initiating, then obviously please contact us. I think Gary has a slide to let everybody know. It's pretty simple. It's support@4ddentistry.com. We'd love to be able to help you build something like this. At the end of the day, though, my message is not call us and make sure that we do this for you. The message is, this is where we believe you need to go. So now that you're learning your why, you need to make sure that your why gets to as many possible channels as possible, knowing that they all cross-connect, that they all cross-pollinate, and that they're all working for you as long as you know how to make them work. So, Gary, I'm going to turn this back over to you unless you have some comments that you want to throw my way.
Yeah, I want to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, if any of you have questions, type them into the question box, because I'm sure some of you've got some things to say. But here's something I want Ridgely to talk about again. What happens when something new comes out like Pinterest, or there's got to be things coming down the pike, right? I mean,
every week.
Every week there's something new. Does that mean the network becomes obsolete, or what does that mean?
Two things. Number one, when something new comes out, you have to evaluate, does that new thing fit your business model? So Pinterest, for example, is incredible if you have a retail store that is focused on clothing, because then you can show all these pictures of clothing and things like that. Whereas Groupon may be great if you have a restaurant, whereas the next thing may be great if you're a dentist. So the key is that you want to constantly build your channels every month and make sure that they cross-connect properly with each other, and that you understand the purpose behind each of these different channels. For example, Pinterest, most people think that Pinterest just showed up last year. That's not true. Pinterest has been around for 5 years. It just became big last year. So 2 years ago, even if you had a retail store, Pinterest was really not that relevant. Today, it's very relevant if you have the right business that applies to that. So in the case of dentistry, for example, radio ads, television ads, Google+, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of those critical. YouTube to post videos, critical. And knowing how to interconnect all of those properly so that they cross-pollinate is also critical. When the next one comes out, you have to then evaluate on a case-by-case basis, is this one right for me or not? And if so, obviously add it right away to your network. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, and let me ask another question. What if I don't feel like my clients are going to be on Facebook? I don't see Facebook as being relevant. I don't want to spend the time posting on Facebook. Because there's a lot of people that feel that way. When
Sure.
I talk to people around the country, they say,
Sure.
yeah, Facebook, great. I just don't want to do it.
Exactly. Well, there's two parts, two answers to the question. Number one, I personally am not a big Facebook person either, me personally. However, I absolutely recognize that a lot of people are. And let's just suppose that my spouse uses Facebook and she connects to other spouses who use Facebook, and their significant others, their spouse, like me, doesn't use Facebook. Well, my only connection to that other spouse that doesn't use Facebook is through my spouse to their spouse to that person. So even if I have no interest whatsoever in Facebook, to not be on Facebook and have that be a part of the network that then my profile, when somebody clicks on it, communicates my why, is insane. That's just ignorant. That means I don't understand how this whole thing works. Because of course you want to be on every channel you can possibly be on, because you don't know who uses that channel. If you're a LinkedIn person, that doesn't mean you don't want to be on Facebook, because you don't know who uses Facebook. And that person on Facebook is connected to another person who is the ideal client. So that when you post something that's interesting on LinkedIn, because that's the one that you like to post on, and it automatically populates through your network, that gives you that much more of a possibility to have somebody who does care about what you do find out about you, and more importantly, when they click their profile, they hear you express your why. And then that creates that bond, so that those people who believe what you believe already have a relationship with you, so that when they're ready, when they're looking for, in this case, a dentist, they're thinking, I want to go to Dr. So-and-so. He helped me on he remembered me. He was the guy that told me about the Pee Wee League and when my kid crossed the finishing line. Even though they had no connection through Facebook, they got a message through Facebook because it was connected through the entire Y network. So the Y that is unchanging is the center. It's like the hub of the network. But the channels that go out, that interconnect with everyone else, is what creates this massive network that enables you to express who you are based on your why to a much greater number of people in a way that doesn't sell them anything. It's all about affinity. It's all about connecting. And all these entities, whether it's Pinterest or YouTube or Facebook or Google, they're all working for you. I mean, that's just so cool. This has not been available to a small business at all that I'm aware of until right now. This is what the big guns do. But for small business, this is the first time I've ever seen anything like this.
Ridgely, thank you very much. You said it way better than I could have.
That's my job, Gary. Thank you, guys, and welcome from, hi from Pensacola, Florida, to everybody out there in the 4D Study Club. Enjoy the rest of your time together with Dr. Gary.
Thanks, Ridge. So picture if you put together this type of network and you didn't start with your why. You would have your phone ringing like crazy, which is not what we want. We don't want your phone just to ring, because all it will do is upset your front office team, because they're going to spend all their time filtering out so that you get just the right patient coming in. So that's the importance of starting with your why, so that you get the right people picking up the phone and calling you, and not just anybody. So building this network without starting with your why will cause you more pain than anything. I mean, picture when you have the wrong person coming in your practice. It's just not much fun, very costly, and a waste of your time. So, Andrea, are you still getting kicked off? I hope you're still here. I see you. Okay, good. So that was, I really wanted to cover that because we've been getting a lot of questions about how do I start getting more out into the market? What's the best way to do it? My website, Google has lowered my ranking on when I go and when people search for me. What am I going to do? The answer is it's gotten so complicated that we've got to look at other channels to keep you relevant, keep you out there, attract your ideal client. So hopefully that was helpful for everybody. And let's keep going. Is there any questions? Let me check here. All right. I think it is turning on my camera that gives me trouble. Okay, good. Glad you're here. Let's move forward. This is, if you want any more information on this, just email us at support@4ddentistry.com like you've done many times before, and we are happy to give you lots of information about it. But you are the first people that have heard anything about this. It's brand new, and it's going to really allow us to stay relevant and continue to build no matter what the technology is. It's not the technology, it's not the media, it's the message. You got to have the right message. So what you're doing with starting with why and creating all of your marketing message around your why is exactly what you need to do. It's what Apple does. It's what's made Apple so incredibly successful, and you're doing the exact same thing. So you're right on track. It's just that Google is not going to be as relevant as it was in the past. So let's keep going. Oh, yeah. So Andrea, you were bumming about your back. I received an email a couple days ago from my brother that practices with me, and he sent me these two pictures. The one on the left there is obviously his broken arm. He was mountain biking in Colorado. He said it wasn't even a challenging ride. They were just finishing. His tire got caught up in something. He went over the handlebars and broke his arm. Dislocated his shoulder distally, and then they couldn't pull it back in. Well, obviously they couldn't because it was broken. So he ended up he was up at Estes Park in Colorado, ended up having to be taken by ambulance into Denver, and they put a bunch of plates. Well, they put a plate and a bunch of screws in his arm. So that's a little different than your back. He's going to be out probably 6 weeks to 2 months. It's going to be a fun time at my office. I dread when my brother's gone for just a couple of days because I have double work, and now I'm going to have 2 months worth of this. So it's going to be quite enjoyable, and that's what's coming up for me when I get back from this short vacation in Florida. But so have a little sympathy for me as we go along in this process. So let's review what we did last meeting. We just talked about, there we go, Module 1 being about your why and your how, Module 2 being about your what and your vision, and you all did really well with that. Module 3, which we're doing now, is about your who you need to attract to create your vision and what it is they want. So we went through, you did your vision board update. So we talked about adding productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness to your vision board. I know a lot of you did that. You went from here to there, adding that productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness. I saw some of your pictures, and I think I put a couple of them. This is what's on ours. Increasing our production, decreasing our adjustments, changing the insurance mindset from not needing pre-denials anymore, charging for what we do instead of giving a lot of free dentistry away, less watches, using our camera on every patient. I told you that little trick for getting your camera used on every patient, telling your hygienist that you'll come check that patient when there's a picture on the screen. I don't know if any of you have tried that, but it's very effective. And we're changing some of the radio stuff that we're doing. So these are a couple of vision boards that were just sent to me right before I went online tonight. On the top is Andrea's, and on the bottom, I put it up so fast, I'm not quite sure who sent me that one. Let me see. That one came from... I will have to get back to you. But I see, Andrea, you've got a lot of successes already. Feels good to have those successes, I'm sure. It's just going to keep piling up. You're going to just start seeing a whole row of those successes come about. And that's when it really gets fun. And so then last time we talked about defining your who, right? Who do you need to attract to create your vision? Do you know who your ideal client is? Do you know their demographics? Do you know what psychographics are? Do you understand your ideal client's specific wants and needs? So if you can't answer yes to each of these questions, then you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You're not attracting the right person. And that is so critical to having success in your marketing, attracting the right people. Like we talked about, building your network and not using your why, not attracting the right people is a real royal pain. You're going to get your phone to ring. You're going to feel like you're having a lot of success, but you're not, because you're going to have a lot of the wrong people walking in your door. So identifying your ideal client is the basic foundation upon which every successful business is built. Make sure you're attracting the right customer in the first place. Your ideal customer is the one who not only buys your product or service, but who buys it and uses it with passion. Your ideal customer is the one who really wants what you have to offer. The ideal customer doesn't just use your product. She feels she couldn't live without it. Those are the patients you want. Those are the ones you want to build your practice around. Your ideal customer profile is vital to every facet of your business. It has an impact on product development because you want to develop product features that your ideal customers value. Has an impact on customer service and marketing and sales. Your ideal customer profile is so central to your business that every employee in your business should be thoroughly familiar with it. They need to know who it is you're looking for, who you need to attract. Everyone who works in your practice, their reticular activating system needs to know who this person is so that they will start to look for them naturally as well. You'll know when they walk in the front door. What we reviewed last time. Okay, so then we talked about creating your avatar. I'm interested if anyone in the chat area can, or in the questions, can tell me how it's going creating your avatar. How has that worked for you? You didn't, there's a way to create it digitally, but just even talking about it. So the purpose of creating your avatar is so that you can actually sit down and have a conversation with this person. You want to get to know them so well that you know what it is they want. You know what it is that they want, what their reticular activating system is looking for, so that you can create the right messaging to attract them, so that out of that, all of that noise, your marketing message stands out, because that's what they're looking for. Like we talked about with being able to pick out your baby crying in the middle of a nursery, because your reticular activating system is tuned into that. It's the same thing. Their reticular activating system is tuned into your marketing message if you understand your avatar well. So we need to create your avatar, and the way we do that is by starting with your demographics, right? Demographics are who they are, their age, their sex, their marital status, their income, their location. For our practice, 45 plus female, married, income 75,000 plus, location in Albuquerque. The reason you need to know demographics is because you're going to speak totally differently to a 25-year-old single female than you would to a 55-year-old married man. It's a totally different conversation that you would have with those two. So you need to start with the demographics. So once you know their demographics, then you want to create their story. You want to know what is going on in their life right now. Do you think I should move to another room? Everybody went out kayaking to go look at the dolphins, and now they're all showing up here at the same time, right in the middle of our webinar, but hopefully some are cooking, some are coming in. If you hear people or you see people going in the background, I apologize for that, but that's where we're at. So once you know their demographics, then you want to start to focus in on what is their story, what's going on in their life right now. Are they newly single and they're wanting to attract somebody of the opposite sex? Are they at that stage where all of their kids have grown up and they're wanting to now be more attractive to their spouse? What's happening in there? Are they getting a new career? Like you can see with the pictures, are they going to are they getting remarried? Are they having lots of marital issues and they're going to be single now? So there's a lot of things that'll be going on in their life that you need to know about so that you can really get to know them. So I had you create their story, right? That was the second step, creating their story. What's going on in their life right now? And then once you've done that, we talked about psychographics. And psychographics are the reasons why they want your product or service. Why do they want to come see you? And those are their hot buttons. Their hot buttons are what it is they want. They're statements like, I want to get my teeth fixed, but I don't want it to hurt. I want to be able to smile and have somebody smile back at me. Things like that. So you took the form and created the list of hot buttons. So the hot buttons are the problems, frustrations, and concerns that matter most to people as they consider the possibility of doing business with you. Your customers' hot buttons are the most pressing reason they have for becoming your customers. What do they want? That's their hot button. So you took the hot button form and put as many hot buttons as you could come up with. For your team got together and put together as many hot buttons as you could come up with for your ideal client. All right? And then once you've created that list, you've circled your top 3 hot buttons. The top 3 hot buttons of your ideal client. For my practice, one of our hot buttons was, I want to get my teeth healthy, but I don't want it to hurt. I'm scared of getting them fixed because of fear. And that's what you can see in the Matching Wants with Solutions. This is the form that you all have, that you all downloaded, right? So you take your top 3 hot buttons and you walk down the series of questions in this form. What is the hot button? What are they really saying with that hot button? Then what is your current solution? What is your innovation for that hot button? What could you do? And if you did that, how would that make them feel? Have all of you tried this form? Has everybody gotten to this stage where they're at this form? Andrea, you're probably there. So what this form is all about is it's taking those 3 hot buttons and finding innovative solutions that your practice can do to not only meet those needs, but to exceed those needs, or actually exceed those wants of your ideal client. So we talked about needs versus wants, that wants are so much stronger than needs. You may need to go to the dentist, but who really wants to go to the dentist? Or you may need a flu shot, but who actually wants to get a flu shot, even though you need it? So you may or you may not do it. But if you want something, you'll do it every time. You may not need a new car because you've already got a car that works. But if you want a new car, you're going to do it. So we want to focus our marketing message on our ideal client's wants. And so that's what this form is all about. It's about taking those top 3 hot buttons and creating innovative solutions. So you can see on the form there what our solutions were. So the hot button was, I want to get my teeth healthy, but I dread going to the dentist because of fear. What are they really saying? See, when you get to age 50, which I turned, it's harder to read these. Let's see. I may need your glasses. Let me see if I can see it better with these. There we go. Okay, so what they're really saying is, I've had bad experiences. I'm embarrassed. I don't trust the dentist. It's going to hurt. That's what they're really saying. And so our current solution, what we do now, is we use topical anesthetic before shots. We have laughing gas before treatment. We use Bose sound canceling headphones that drowns out the dental sounds. Okay, that's what our current solution is. So we came up with an innovation. We said, what could we do that would exceed their wants, exceed the current solution? They said we could have a website dedicated to the fearful patient. We could make their visits stress-free by using sedation dentistry so they can sleep through their visit. And if we did that, how would that make them feel? So the benefit is, how would they feel? They would feel taken care of. They would feel that they are confident that they are in the right place. They would feel like they were able to get their smile back, and they would feel like they would have a better life. And so that's what I want you to do with each of the 3 hot buttons that you created, or that you circled on your hot button sheet. Are there any questions about this? It's pretty straightforward. But when you do this, when you've filled out this Matching Wants with Solutions form, you will then have everything you need to create any kind of marketing, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's a radio spot, whether it's on TV, anything you need, we're going to get it all from this form. So it's really important for you to go through each of these steps for each hot button. Let's see here. Bill asks, can I ask a question about developing my avatar and the hot buttons? Let me see where you are, Bill. Yes. Bill, hit me with your question.
All right. Well, Gary, the way I was trying to develop the avatars, I was just taking some of my more recent or my more successful cases and just targeting those individuals. Is that too narrow of a target, or I should be using a broader field when I'm developing the avatar?
Were they your more successful? Tell me why they were your more successful patients.
Because I felt they were extremely satisfied, extremely happy with the results and the outcome of the cases, and those are the types of cases that I want to continue to try to propagate in the practice. Patients that are very appreciative and very happy with the results and what we've achieved.
I mean, that definitely sounds reasonable. If they were your ideal new patient, did they fit the profile of who you really want to have walking in your front door?
Yeah, for example, one of them's an executive's wife, and she wanted to do something with her smile and wanted to enhance her smile because she's being out in the public with her husband, being seen at functions, and just really wasn't happy with her appearance. And another example was an individual, a female, that happened to be an executive herself, that also was doing a lot of training and really wanted to look better and wanted to be more confident with her smile. So those are the examples that I'm kind of falling back on. But I'm just concerned, is that too narrow or too narrow of a target?
No, that's perfect. Yeah, if they fit your profile of who you're looking for and you can picture them, definitely use them as your example. You can even name your avatar one of their names if you want.
Sure.
So
And then carrying forward with the hot buttons, it seems like the same themes keeps popping up. They want their smiles to look better. They want to feel confident about their smiles. They want their teeth to be wider, and they want to look natural. Are those enough to fill in the boxes with each one of those being one of the hot buttons, or should those be grouped together as one hot button?
Tell me your ideal new patient's story.
For example, there's a case that the executive, she wanted to do something for herself for her 60th birthday. She'd been contemplating doing something about her smile for a long time, and she actually decided that this was the gift she was going to give herself for her 60th birthday. She's the one that's in human resources. She's a trainer. She's in front of groups of people all the time. She just didn't feel comfortable and confident about her smile, and she wanted to enhance and do something to improve that.
So what was the conversation she was having in her own, so she looks in the mirror and says what?
She says, I don't like the way these teeth look. I don't like the way these fang teeth, as she described them, look. I want them to look more natural. I never have done anything with them over the past 20 years, and I'm ready to do something now.
Why now?
Because of her 60th birthday. She wanted to give that present to herself.
Okay. So is she single?
Yes.
So what is it she really,
She has a boyfriend that was kind of influential in saying he didn't want to see too much change in her smile.
Right. So she wants to be more attractive to the opposite sex.
Yes.
She wants to have more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She wants to
feel good about her smile.
Yeah, she wants to be able to smile and have people smile back at her.
Exactly.
Yeah. So those are definitely good hot buttons. So make your list. Sounds like you've already made your list of hot buttons, right?
I have.
Did you circle the top 3?
That's what I'm struggling with. Whether those 3 should be, I would consider those 3 as one, or should those 3 be individual ones?
They can be individual ones. What typically is keeping the people back, your ideal client, from getting their teeth fixed in the past?
I would say probably motivation in taking the step to get it done moving forward is probably their fear, perhaps. I think it's more than anything not knowing what the outcome is going to look like, what the results are going to be.
So you think...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so you think it's taken her 20 years to get this done because she didn't know what the outcome would be? And
probably finances, too.
Okay.
She's been saving up to have this done, give this gift to herself.
So let's talk more in terms of, is that who you want as your ideal client? Somebody who, tell me who you would like to see walk in your front door. Tell me all about this person. Doesn't have to be her, but based upon what you know and what you would like to see walk in your front door, tell me about them.
I'd like to see someone that comes in that's looking to enhance their smile, wanting to be able to get. Pardon?
Tell me their demographics.
45 plus, a female that's either an executive or associated with someone like an executive type that's got a college degree, perhaps 100 plus income range.
Okay, and from your area, I assume.
And from my area, yes.
Okay, and so their story is what? So they're 45 plus. What's their story?
Well, they're really working on their social, and kind of get socially active, and they want to do something to really enhance their smile, make their smiles look better. They want to feel more confident about their smile. They want to project that image of confidence with amongst themselves and with their peers.
Okay, and they want to look younger.
Yes.
And they want to feel better. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So of those hot buttons that you came up with, tell me which 3 you circled.
Well, I circled that. I guess I really struggle with having beautiful teeth, making them whiter, and making them more natural looking would be what I would consider the hot button for those folks.
I want them whiter. I want them more natural looking. See, those are more like features. Maybe a little bit deeper about what it is they want. Yeah, they want their teeth whiter, but why do they want their teeth whiter? What would it mean if they had whiter teeth? What would that give them if they had whiter teeth? What do they really want? They don't want whiter teeth. What is it they really want? Well, they don't want nice veneers. They don't want beautiful crown margins. What is it that they want?
They want to feel better about themselves.
Yes. Yeah, they want to look younger. That maybe look younger could incorporate all of those.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? So those 3 that you mentioned could probably be 1, like you said.
Right.
But those are more features of what they really want. No, they want to look better. They want to look younger. They want to have more confidence. It's more about a feeling than a product. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Because that's what they really want. Who wants, who really wants nice crown margins? Who really wants beautiful veneers? I don't want beautiful veneers. I want a great smile. I want to be able to smile and have confidence. I want to smile and have them look natural. I don't want nice veneers.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so if you can put them in terms of what they really want, if you can picture that avatar of yours sitting at home looking in the mirror, talking to herself, what would her conversation be? It won't be, I want whiter veneers. It will be, what? I want to be more attractive to my spouse. I want to be able to give presentations and feel confident when I smile. I want to look younger. I want what I'm seeing to reflect what I feel in my mind. Things like that.
Okay.
So you can get to the essence of what it is they want.
Okay.
So, but I like where you're at, though. I mean, you've come a long way with that. Just maybe take it a hair deeper.
Okay.
And then circle the top 3 you want, and then plug those into the matching wants with solutions form and work that through.
Got it. Okay. Thanks.
Make sense?
Yep.
And when you come up with your 3, email them to me, and we can talk about them if you want.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks, Bill. Good questions. Any other questions over there? Okay. So you saw where you're going to come up with your story. You're going to create your list of 3 hot buttons. And then you're going to plug them into the form. And you just walk them through. So one of the things I talked about at the beginning was the application of information in the right sequence is what's going to yield you the results. All you've got to do is follow down this sequence that I've already put everything in, and you're going to get everything you need. So just follow the steps. Demographics, hot buttons, top 3 hot buttons, plug them into the form, fill out across the page, and you'll have everything you need to create any kind of messaging that you're going to want for any kind of marketing, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, radio, TV, whatever it is, you're going to have it all coming off of this form. So your homework is to finish the hot buttons, revisit them if you need to, like Bill is, finish your matching wants with solution form, and that's all you need to get done between now and August 6th. But it takes a while. It's a really good discussion because the whole section on innovation is what's going to come up with some great stuff for you guys, stuff that's going to separate you from your competition. I'll give you an example. There was a pediatric dentist who the hot button was, I want my kids to go to the dentist, but I don't want to miss work to take them. And so he said, you know, what they're really saying is they really want their kids to have care, but they can't afford to miss work. And so he didn't really have a very good current solution, but his innovation was really cool. In his area, he found that the limousine services, the limousine sat idle all day. Sometimes they used them at night, they used them on the weekends, but typically during the day, they didn't use them at all. So he worked out a deal that cost him very little, where he had limousines pick up the kids from school with his sign on the side of it. They would show up to the school, pick up the kids, take them to the dental appointment, do their work, take the kids back. And it turned out to be just an amazing innovation for him based upon the hot button of his ideal client. So you all can do the same thing. As you realize what your ideal client wants, your innovation statement is, what could we do? So as you pose that to your team, you start brainstorming. Because it's in that innovation section doesn't mean you have to do it, but it's something that gets you thinking, stimulates your brain. You can, once you've got all these lists of things you could do, you can say, you know what, I like these 2, we could do those. The other 2, no, we don't have to do those. But these would really make my practice stand out, really make us meet the reticular activating system of our ideal client. There's no way they could go somewhere else if we do this. And those are the fun things that you're going to do. Fun things you're going to come up with. This form is what is really a lot of fun for you and your team, because you get to come up with stuff. You get to brainstorm how your practice is actually going to be different. So work with this form. I know we're running out of time. Let's see. I'm at the hour mark, but if there's any questions, I'm happy to stay a little bit longer, because Ridgely went a little bit long at the beginning, but that was so worthwhile, so you see where we're going. But if you have any questions, type them into the questions area, because I'll stay a little bit longer. This is really important stuff. Everything you do, all the marketing messages, your USP, your elevator pitch, all that stuff comes from this form. So don't skip it. Take as much time as you need to do in your meetings to go through this and fill out each section. A lot of thought. Put it up on your board. If you're leading the meetings, Go through this step by step, because the innovation section and the benefits, what you're going to do from here is you're going to figure out what's your single greatest benefit. What is the single greatest benefit that your practice provides to your ideal client, and it all comes from that benefit section. So you've got to think about what is the benefit to our ideal client if we do this innovation. That's where it all comes from. Any questions? Let's see. I'm not seeing any. If there's no questions, you had support at 4D Dentistry if you have any questions about what Ridgely was talking about. Otherwise, I will see you all Monday, August 6th at 8:30 p.m. Finish your hot buttons. Finish matching wants with solutions. If you have any questions, hit me up at support@4ddentistry.com. I look forward to seeing you all then. I will not be so sunburned. My gosh, my face hurts. Let's see. Okay, Paul, you said it's got to be a full-time job for someone to keep all these channels up to date. It could be. It could be. There's ways to link them all together, so where you don't have to post, you can post to one and it goes to all of them. There's ways to do that if you get it set up right. That's something that we can help you with. Let's see. Is there one person on your team doing all of this? Yeah. You could try to hire somebody. You can outsource it. It does take a lot of work to get a lot of these set up. It does. And so you can train somebody on your team. There's ways to train them, but also we can help you out with that. So send me an email and we can talk more about it another time. I don't want to go into too much detail about that, but there are ways that we can help you with that. Ways we can set it up for you and roll it out month by month by month, so that at the end of the year you've got it all set up, it's all networked, it's all referring to each other, and if anything new comes out, we can add that right to it. It's not the media, it's the message. You guys are now working on the message. You've got your whys down. You've got your hows down. You're following the steps. You're right on track. What we're going to be doing soon is working on this network. So when you have that all in place and you've got the right messaging out there, you'll attract the people that are looking for you that don't know you exist yet. So send us an email on that, Paul, and we can give you some more information. I am 4 minutes over. I don't see any more questions. I'll see you all on August 6th. Have a great week.